Hello, everyone, and welcome to another fine episode and edition of the Joypad Podcast. Today, we are joined by a full house. My name is Tom. I am joined by two Mikes, one Fleming, one Pinto, and a Megan. And we are going to be here talking about video games and revenue up. I don't know why I'm so hyped today, but I'm kind of... Well, I know I am hyped. I'm going on vacation soon, so I'm into it. I'm going to start the roundtable off. Megan, how are you doing? What are you beveraging? And what games have you been enjoying?
Great. I'm wonderful. I have one more day until the weekend, and I'm thinking about maybe taking Monday and Tuesday off next week, but I haven't decided yet. I probably won't do any of that, though.
Do it. Do it.
As for my beverage of choice, I'm enjoying a Coca-Cola this evening. I know it's not my leaf water, but hey.
I'm impressed.
I know. As for what am I playing, I finished Star Wars Fallen Order.
Oh, wow. That was fast.
Yeah. I think it was like 20-ish hours that it took for the story. Maybe not even that long. I'm probably lying, but I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was fun.
Thumbs down?
Thumbs up.
Right.
It was originally, like, when we both played it however long ago, I'm like, no. But then I replayed it, I gave it another shot, and I really enjoyed it. And I think what's the latest one? Survivor. When that goes on sale, I'll probably pick that up at some point. Nice. I was trying to bide my time until Final Fantasy 16 came out, which, as of today's launch or release day, so I picked that up this afternoon. I haven't played it yet. So I'm looking forward to maybe playing a little bit of that tonight, and then definitely over the weekend. I did jump back into Cyberpunk a little bit. It's Cyberpunk. I just I think when I originally played it, it was on the PS4 Pro, and it crashed a lot. And now I have my PS5, and I'm playing the PS5 version of it. It doesn't crash as much, but it still crashes, which I just find super annoying and frustrating. It's definitely not as buggy. Like, the world loads in pretty quickly, so like I'm not, driving up a street and suddenly like a car generates in front of me, or like there's suddenly a person there, which is cool.
Yeah.
But like I thought that it would be a little bit better.
Are you playing it on the PS5 at this point?
Yep, yeah. I'm playing it on the PS5, and it's the PS5 optimized version.
Wow. That's
of it.
Surprising and unfortunate.
Yeah, it's definitely not as frequent, but it's still there, which it's just frustrating because when did it come out? 2020? 2020?
I think, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably right. Or at least 2021. But, yeah, I don't know. I'll start Final Fantasy 16 at some point this weekend.
I just want to add a little bit of frustration to the Final Fantasy 16 release date, because I pre-ordered on Amazon, and it's not arriving until tomorrow at 10 p.m.
Really?
So if today's release day, it should be here today, shouldn't it? If I pre-ordered?
In theory. I've had that happen, though. Like, if I pre-order through Best Buy, I've only ever had one issue where I didn't get it on release day. I pre-ordered Returnal, and when I went to the store, they're like, yeah, we don't have it. And it was release day. But so like weird. Target, I've had issues with where it's like the day after, or like the Monday after, because sometimes with games releasing on Fridays now, with Saturday and Sunday, you might not see it until Monday. But that's super frustrating, especially with a game like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be okay. We're not going to be playing it anytime soon, but it's just, if I put in a pre-order, I expect to get it on the release day.
Right.
It's like
otherwise, what's the point of the pre-order?
Well, yeah, it's like how if you would go to GameStop and on release day, and this is, I don't know if this is GameStop specific, but you go there on release day, but you don't have a pre-order, and you're like, can I get this game? They're like, nope, you can't. Do you have a pre-order? No. All these copies are for pre-orders. It's like, what?
Yep. I remember that. Did they still do that?
I don't know. I kind of hope GameStop doesn't exist anymore. I know they do.
It does.
But...
It does. They did that when I bought Pokemon Arceus.
Oh yeah.
Because I went to go purchase a physical copy and they said, no, you can only get one if you have a pre-order.
That's
So
when
I
you
got
had
a
the
digital
debacle,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then that whole thing happened, and eventually I came back and was able to return it for a physical copy, which is just ridiculous. Which I haven't played, by the way. I just
But you have it.
Yep.
I've been there. I'm slowly like working my way now through my backlog of games, little by little, which I'm proud of.
It's a good thing.
Yeah. I guess pre-orders now, the only thing it guarantees is that you get a copy of the game.
Yeah.
But it's rare that you can't, even if you don't pre-order it now.
Yeah, I'm getting to the point too where, and I never thought this was going to be me, but we do a lot of like digital purchasing.
Yeah.
So, hey, I'm going to get it on time if I get a digital purchase.
True. Very true. Yeah. I feel myself like shifting a little bit, unless the physical copy comes with something really cool.
Yeah.
Digital kind of feels like the right thing to do, because even like the pre-order bonuses, it's usually some kind of DLC. And if you do that through like the PlayStation Store, Xbox, I don't really buy anything through them.
Right.
But PlayStation, you get that same DLC content, if not more. So,
yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. I'm excited to play it. I started the demo, but then I kind of felt like you, where you're like, I don't want to play through it again.
Yeah.
So I stopped. What I played was really cool, and it looks like a beautiful game. So I am excited to jump into it. So I'll report back.
Nice. Yeah, I think you'll probably get started on it before I do. So
yeah,
I'd be interested to hear those thoughts.
Definitely. But that's it for me. Mr. Fleming, how are you? Why are you red? What are you drinking? And what are you playing? You're not red. I'm just.
It's okay. If I'm red, I can point to why I'm Irish.
It's all the lobster.
And I got burnt. It's all the lobster. Yes, I was on vacation last week in Maine. Maine has lobsters. I had a total of 10 lobster meals in the 7 days that I was there.
Hell yeah.
So lobster was
you made it count.
the primary consumed food at the time. I'll get back to that in just a second. But I am drinking water out of my wife's cup tonight. It's delicious.
The Harry Potter.
Sure,
It
your
is Harry
wife's
Potter.
cup.
Nice.
I don't know much about Harry Potter. What's his middle name? James? His father's name?
I don't know.
See,
whatever his name is.
Harry Taint. Harry Taint Potter.
Oh, I was going with Harry Chet Potter.
Oh.
Oh, well.
My wife is the Harry Potter fan in our relationship, so.
It's James.
And as you, all three of you have met her, she's a Harry Potter fan. Very much so.
What? No.
Yes, very much so. So
She's
anyway,
a
yes.
Twilight fan.
She's that too.
She's also that.
I feel like Christy and Amy could be really good friends.
Probably, yes. But anyway, yes, I was in Maine for a week. I had 10 lobster meals. 7 of those were rolls. 1 was a lobster melt, which was similar to a grilled cheese with lobster.
Never heard of that.
Ooh, that sounds
Yes. And the final 2 were lobster mac and cheese.
Hell yeah.
And those both rated in the top, like 4, I think it was. In the top 4, both of them did. And then the best lobster roll was from the place we stayed at the first time, which was great in Kennebunkport. Anyway, yes. So I didn't get to play games at all last week. However, I did receive 3 games from our good friend, the Gaming Daddy. Thank you so much.
Ooh.
I appreciate it. The games this time are Root, Citizen Sleeper, and System Shock. And
Ooh.
I greatly appreciate these games, sir. You know who you are. But I also did not have them on my wish list. I don't even know what games these are. So I'm going to open it up really quickly. This could be a short, like 2-minute segment.
I have
which
Citizen
Sleeper?
Sleeper.
Okay,
I have
should I
not
start
played
with
it
that?
yet. And System Shock, is that the new one, like the remake,
Yeah.
or is it the old one?
I know the new one just came out.
So it's probably the new one.
Yeah.
That's like a sci-fi horror type game.
Oh, okay. Well, I think for me, the thing is that I typically like see a game and I'm like, do I want to buy this? I don't know. But then somebody like says, like you guys say, hey, let's play together, or somebody buys me a game or something like pushes me to play a game, and then I really like it. So my goal, it will be to play these 3 games.
Nice.
And it sounds like System Shock will probably be the first to play, followed by Citizen Sleeper. I don't know about Root either or as well, so we'll have to see what that's like too. But I did get time to play a little bit this week. I went back into Age of Empires. I think I mentioned that in my last in the last episode of the podcast, or at least the last one I was on. I said I wanted to get back into Age of Empires, so I started playing that again. It's fun as always. I love RTS games. They're so much fun. So yes, I've been playing that again. And my Steam name, as you guys know what it is, continues to get questions from every game and person I play. They're like, "Where did you come up with this?" And
it's a long story.
It's a long story that should not be.
You're better off not knowing.
You probably are better off not finding me on Steam.
Outside of that, I did want to bring up one thing. So, Fleming, did you see that Payday 3 is coming?
Oh,
I
I
saw that.
did not see Payday 3 is coming. That is very exciting.
Yep, September 21st is the release date for that.
September 21st. Okay, well, I will have a game to play when I'm on paternity leave. Yay!
Hey,
I'll play that game
holding
with you.
babies and shooting honest citizens for $1.
Well,
Yes.
we'll start at the same level for one day until you play it for 17 hours and become level 300.
Yep.
Just so you guys know, the Outlast Trials, the max level is 40. Just
Because
so
you
you're
hit
Did you
it.
hit it?
because I hit it.
God damn
I'm
it.
level 3, I think.
I'm level like 5, maybe. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Tom
Maybe.
never
But,
plays again.
Probably.
That's exciting to hear that Payday 3 is coming. And I think another Counter-Strike has been announced.
That was a
Counter-Strike.
while ago, yeah.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that too. So
Why?
that's-
We talked about that.
Yeah, we
People will
just
just continue to play the same one. It's like
And
it's like
the same
Brood War.
game. It's just just a improved version of it, but it's gonna be the same thing overall. I doubt they'll add any new weapons or anything in that game at least. But cool. I didn't know Payday 3 is coming, and that's very exciting. I am hoping they do some improvements to the game. There's some things that I never liked. But
As long as I can use 2 flamethrowers in the same
Yes.
level.
One in each
What?
hand.
okay, isn't one flamethrower enough though?
No?
Never.
I want to be able to use 3 flamethrowers concurrently.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Where would you hold the third
I'll
one?
put an
I want to
Ace
strap
Italian
one to a
torch on my
codpiece so I
wanger.
can shoot 2 hands
Oh,
and
God.
straight out the dick. Fire everywhere.
See, Tom and I had the same idea. There's even a song about that. It's called I Ejaculate Fire. It's by Death Clock.
Well, okay. I just feel like one flamethrower probably gets the job done.
Probably, yeah.
But it's okay to use 3 if you
I
want.
What if the
disagree.
first one breaks and you need a backup?
Well, that's when
It's
you
always
grab
good to have a backup.
your cock flamethrower. You just start.
That's
Oh,
when
no.
you grab the hairspray and the Zippo, and you're good to yeah.
What if you need to be the inside man on 9/11? Come on, jet fuel doesn't melt steel beams.
That's
3
right, but
flamethrowers does.
hairspray does.
Oh, Fleming's face froze, and it's in a great
Oh,
position.
no.
Quick, screen cap.
Just boot
Hurry.
at me.
Hurry.
Booted from Skype. Why was I booted from Skype?
Oh,
he's got that.
exploitable. Got it.
Oh, he got it.
Please just start mixing them all together.
I don't know why I booted from Skype all of a sudden. That was never like it wasn't an issue until the latest update, and now I'm just booted from Skype once in a while. My audacity stayed. So anyway, enough about me. Enough about what I'm doing. I have nothing else to say. It was Pinto, right?
Yeah,
That hasn't gone.
That's
so
his
what,
name, yes.
that is
yes.
me.
What are you drinking, playing, performing? How's life? What's going on?
I'm good. Your camera's still frozen, just so you know. I am drinking a Gatorade, even though I am not an athlete. I don't know if I should be drinking Gatorade.
You're
But
not
it's,
allowed.
it's glacier cherry flavored, and it's pretty good. I'm also holding a cat, but she's out of frame, so just every once in a while you'll see a paw shoot up next to my face, because Mary makes air biscuits all the time.
Aw.
Games, I have mostly been playing Legend of Legaia. I'm trying to power through that. I think I'm more than halfway done. It's just a very slow game, but enjoyable.
How long a game is that on the whole? Because
On
I
the
don't
whole,
know if
if-
I ever beat it. as a
If
kid.
you're... Well, here's the problem. It's just battles take forever.
Well, yeah.
So I have an embarrassing amount of time clocked into it, but that's also because I'm grinding and over leveled. So,
Fair.
but it's long. It's surprisingly long, actually. I keep doing things I'm like, I don't remember this, but I also haven't played the game in a very long time. Oh my god, I have to put this cat down. Her claws are in my flesh. Goodbye, be free. I have also been playing Stardew Valley.
Hey.
I sunk back into it. I am currently in fall year 1, and I jump in and I play like a day or two, and then I go and I do something else, and I jump back in and I play a day or two. But it has become enjoyable again with all the mods and additions and everything. So many new characters, so many new events. And
Did you add whatever
Artisan-
that additional city is?
Yes, Ridgeside and East Scarp Village I have added.
Interesting.
So there's a lot of new characters. And
You met them all?
yeah, there's a character named Tort who's just a turtle.
Hell yeah.
And he's
Aw.
not anthropomorphic, so like he's literally just a turtle. If you talk to him, he's like, it says things like Tort is eating worms, and I'm like, ha, it's a turtle.
That is what turtles do.
Pretty much, yeah. But he's at like all the town events and stuff too. So like you go to the luau and there's just a turtle there, and I'm like, okay,
Hey, I'm into that.
you belong in this.
Why not?
I haven't really been playing too much else. Megan and I started playing Decarnation. I don't know if we talked
yeah.
about this on the podcast. I know I have talked about this game on the podcast. It's pixel art, psychological horror. It got real weird pretty quick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
How weird.
pretty weird. It's one of those games where things are happening, and I'm like, okay, which of this is really happening, and which of this
Right.
is like a delusion.
Oh.
And that's the kind of game I like. Like, I like psychological horror, so I'm really interested to see where it goes. And for being, like, pixel art and sprite art, they do a good job of making things really weird and creepy.
I like that. I'm not I'm not the biggest horror man, but if you're gonna do it, I like that you do it right. That's
Yeah.
If
a good
anyone
way
is
to be.
interested in watching that, episodes 1 and 2 are on the Joypad YouTube channel. Haha!
haha.
I'm trying to think if I've really been playing anything else. I don't think so. Oh, I have a bone to pick with whoever has ported
Uh-oh.
Uno to consoles.
Oh.
Why can't you 1v1 in Uno?
1v1 me, bro.
Yeah, I went in there, a friend and I were going to play Uno, and we were going to play 1 versus 1. And it's like, okay, I made the lobby, and it auto-populated it with 2 AI as well. And I was like, this isn't what I wanted. And then I Googled it, and apparently you used to be able to 1v1 in Uno, and they got rid of that feature.
What?
I don't know why.
People were exploiting it to get all of the Uno points.
Yeah. Sorry, that's a motorcycle going by. So if
There's-
you hear vague low farting, that's what that is.
There's actually like it's interesting. There's a 1v1 mode in Rocket League, and people will exploit that to get points or something. Because I tried it at one point, and people would just be like, "Oh, I'm just gonna let you win, and then we'll play again. You just let me win." I was like, What's the
Where's
what's
the fun?
point? Yeah, like that's not good.
Yeah.
So I basically did not do that. But I don't know. That's kind of
Dumb.
a weird place to have an issue.
I
Yeah.
know. I don't know. I only paid $4 for it, and it's Uno, so like whatever.
I agree.
I really think that's about it for me. I do have things I would like to talk about, but Tom, you might actually mention them, so I'm gonna toss it to you and let you go first and talk about that wonderful background image, what you've been
God
playing,
damn it.
and all the good things that come along with that. Also, what you're drinking.
I'm just drinking water. But I'm doing well. I'm about to go on vacation, and I have done a new masterpiece of photoshopping Fleming's face onto the background for all the YouTube viewers out there. Highly encourage you to take a look at that. I have been playing Zelda Tears of the Kingdom and almost nothing but Zelda Tears of the Kingdom because it is so good. it is just such a freaking good game. Honestly, I think we're almost over 100 hours.
Wow.
Because when it's the weekend, we get up and my wife is like, "Do you want to play Zelda?" And I go, "Yeah." And then we spend the whole day playing Zelda. So, it really is that good. There really is that much to do in it, and it all is fun. And like just building the machines and exploring is awesome. So it's I've heard it said it makes Breath of the Wild feel like a tech demo for this game, and it does. It really just feels like there's a much more complete aspect being able to assemble the different Zonai machines and explore both the sky and the depths. So,
did you finish Breath of the Wild, Tom?
Yep.
Okay, I couldn't remember if you actually completed the game or not. So I was curious.
Yeah, we went the whole way through
Okay.
probably a number of years ago and beat Breath of the Wild. Zelda games are among the few that we really kind of play right when they come out because my wife's really into them too. And that was one that we did that with. But we've still got time to play in Tears of the Kingdom, and I'm still excited 100 hours later to play more of Tears of the Kingdom. So it's just a ton of fun. We got the Master Sword, so we're
Nice.
there. We have like one more of the 4 different like main regions to explore, but we've done a lot of things too. So yeah, I cannot recommend it enough. I know already like 90% of the world is playing this game, but go play Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. It rules. So yeah, that's been my gaming. I don't think I've really been playing a whole lot else. If anything, I may have fired up Gloomhaven once or twice. I missed out on some group gaming a couple times because I've just been really sleepy. But hey, I'm open to doing some of that as well. And outside of that, I think basically the main thing I want to say today is, man, guys, Nintendo fucking rules.
Yeah, buddy.
Like the most recent Nintendo Direct for the Switch, which has been out for how many years now?
6 or 7, I think.
Like it's aging architecture, but still getting like fantastic game releases. There's a new Pokemon DLC coming out. I mean, I have to throw out the elephant in the room, which is the Super Mario RPG.
Yes!
Do you call it a remake, a rematch? What do you call it at this point?
Remake, probably.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Everything they've shown was like from the base game, but that doesn't mean they're not adding new stuff and just not showing it off. You know?
Yeah. And well, I just love that the style is so faithful to the original style while also just being more modern and slick. And like they touched up some of the UI and it looks better too. Like it looks improved.
It looks
And
like
that's
they're
all you should do.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be exactly like the original, like combat and all, which I'm kind of surprised at, not complaining, but surprised at because, you know, turn-based combat.
Yeah.
Everyone seems to be moving away from turn-based combat.
Well, I think South Park: The Stick of Truth really proved that still worked.
Yeah.
Because that was basically the Super Mario RPG combat formula in that game.
Yes, it
True.
was.
And then they went to a little bit different thing with the Fractured But Whole, which was good, but more
as good.
tactical, gritty. Yeah, I would say not as good. It took more effort. But yeah, I think it all works, and I mean it looks amazing. You know, and I think for years everyone had been saying, "Oh, Mallow and Gino just dead," like just dead. So to see them in that updated graphic style, officially trotted out by Nintendo, was like, yeah, yes. So
I was so excited about this that I told my mom about it.
Oh.
My mom doesn't care about video games, but she knows, as I've said before, that's the game I rented so much from Blockbuster that my parents bought it for me.
Right.
So she was like, okay, I know what game you're talking about, and I understand why you're so excited.
That's funny. I told my mom about it too. She wasn't nearly as excited.
I was actually hoping for a Paper Mario game announcement.
Yeah.
But this is better.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where they go from here too, because obviously if you've created all the effort to do all of this, you can continue to use that. Mm-hmm. So it's possible. That's all I'm saying is there's a chance.
Also, none of the Paper Mario games after the 1,000-Year Door have ever lived up to that legacy either, in my opinion. So.
Right.
I still have Origami King sitting around.
I've heard that's the closest one. And I was going to buy that game, but I ended up buying Pokemon instead.
Hey, if you ever want to try it, I have it just sitting around. It's a physical copy, so you can totally play it.
Well, what I really need to do is buy a mini SD card for my Switch, because holy crap, does that default Switch not have a lot of memory?
Yeah, it fills up fast.
I have like Mario Kart, which, is like 9 gigs, which is, I believe, 3/5 of the capacity of my Switch. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah. You get that extra SD card, though, and it can hold a bajillion games. It's kind of awesome. Because Switch games aren't that big.
No, they're not. It's just there's no storage on the Switch.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, the big controversy is the Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remakes that they did. Those, even if you have a cartridge, they download everything to the Switch.
Oh, really?
So, and they're like almost 30 gig games or something like that. So they take up like everything. That wouldn't even fit
on my Switch, I don't think.
It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
All right, Nintendo, your games are awesome. Fix your memory issues. You're not getting away without complaint.
You got to think they're probably working on a new Switch.
Yeah.
And
there are always rumors floating around.
Yeah, what's the rumor?
Just that they're always working on something, but that's been since the OLED came out.
Yeah, well, it makes sense. I mean, my biggest question right now is like how, could you innovate on that? Because that seems like that's where Nintendo's been at for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But the Switch seems like a pretty perfect idea of a portable and stationary console kind of thing. So to me, it's like just up the processing power and you're good to go. Like build some memory and processing power, and I'm a happy duck.
Mm-hmm.
And keep it backwards compatible. Like, there's no reason anyone should have to like get old games as new games on Switch 2 or anything like that,
right?
Or not be able to play old games, because let's be honest here, it's all just PC architecture with a Nintendo OS on it at this point. Like that's all any of these consoles are at this point,
right?
So yeah, that's what I'm hoping for on that side. But we haven't heard any of that. But with Steam Deck pushing them a little bit, I'm hoping maybe that'll come sooner rather than later. But as far as that Nintendo Direct goes, like so many other good games were announced too, or like interesting piece of WarioWare. We have a
Super
Star
Mario
Ocean
Bros.
2.
Wonder.
Luigi's
my
Mansion.
God, that looked interesting. The Super Mario Brothers Wonder.
Yeah.
Isn't Peach getting her own game too?
Peach is getting her own game, yeah.
And that's all they told us about that.
Yeah, it was like a 30-second teaser, I think.
They were like, oh, Peach is getting a game? Oh, there she is. It's Peach in a game. That's all we're going to show you for now. Let's go to the next
Still
thing.
figuring it out.
Yeah.
But everyone was like, woo, fuck yeah.
I was really excited about the Star Ocean remake / master. That was a game I really liked.
The graphical style looks interesting. Like,
it's very 2D, 3D.
Yeah, the 2.5D with sprite work, but in a 3D world. I like that though, personally.
It's a little off-putting to me. Mm-hmm. It's interesting, but a little off-putting. But at the same time, Did any of you guys play that game on PlayStation or
I've
otherwise?
never played the
I
Star
have
Ocean
only
game.
played the one that was on PlayStation 2.
Okay, so A, Star Ocean rules. B, Star Ocean Second Story, which is the one we're talking about. It really had kind of like a 2D, 3D feel to it, as much as you could do that on a PlayStation 1.
Okay.
So it makes sense the way that they're doing that with that clip. It just, I don't know. To me, it felt a little bit uncanny when I saw it, but I am willing to take the dive with it because that story is just fun. Like it's a really different take on a lot of like classic JRPGs because it's basically like guy is on Star Trek, his ship gets like shot down, he gets beamed down to like this fantasy planet, and then you have Star Trek man in fantasy world. Yep. And you start out with a laser gun that breaks. But you get a couple rounds of combat where you get to vaporize the hell out of things, and that's kind of awesome too. So yeah, I never got terribly far in that game, so I think it would be a good time to revisit it. But they said they revitalized some of the combat too, but it was more of like an action RPG as well. Star Ocean is a little bit like that, where you move your character around on a grid, and everyone just kind of continues to act and take their turns. So it was a little bit different, in its time as well. So it'll be interesting. But I was also very interested in the Persona strategy game. I forget what exactly that was called. I don't know if you guys saw that.
I think Persona 4 Tactica or something like
Yeah,
that.
Sounds right. So Tom like tactical RPGs. Tom like aesthetic of Persona. Tom hasn't played Persona yet despite owning it. Tom would probably definitely get tactical Persona. So I was super into that.
There's a new game that came out, a new Alien game, which is apparently like XCOM-ish, but it's like a survival horror tactical game, which I find really intriguing, and I kind of want to try it. I can't remember what it's called. It's literally Alien something. I'll look it up on Steam right now.
Alien, Tactical Aliens, sponsored by Aliens.
I mean,
only playable on an Alienware PC.
I really wanted to get into Alien Isolation, except it made me want to barf my guts out. So,
is that a first person?
Yeah, it's a first person like
Aliens Dark Descent.
Maybe. I'm waiting for my Steam to boot up. It's taking a long time. But I don't know. Anything that is like survival horror plus interesting genre that is not survival horror always piques my interest to see how they can make it work. So
yeah, it's. I mean, kind of. What's the game that you're playing through right now? That's the very
Decarnation.
Decarnation. That's the one I couldn't think of the name. Yeah, it's almost kind of like that too, where like you see a different approach to that sort of thing, and you kind of say, how are these styles going to mash up and do something different?
Yes, Megan, it is Aliens Dark Descent. Sorry.
Nailed it.
I was pretty sure that's what it was. But yeah, it's a tactical RPG plus aliens, which really makes it just sound like XCOM, but you have to realize that when I'm saying aliens, I mean xenomorphs, not just generic aliens.
Aliens.
Yeah. Well, I guess they are bipedal aliens. I don't know. It's a little bit different from like the kind, like they're more sentient aliens in XCOM.
Yeah. Oh boy, looking at this, I'm definitely gonna want to try it once once I get some more money. I'll throw it on the wish list. Hey,
there you go. That's what I do, so I don't forget.
And then you wait for a random sale,
or you wait for your birthday or a holiday.
Well, that too.
All right.
But
Monopoly Madness. No thanks, Steam. I'm good.
Oh, hell yeah.
I already own Monopoly. I don't need it to be Madness.
Get Madness from Monopoly the way you do every time you play Monopoly. The game that destroys friendships.
It's not
now,
wrong.
Tom, I know you're a fan of Obsidian with what was the
New
space
Vegas?
game now? New Vegas, but fuck, it was on the PlayStation 4. What was their
Outer Worlds.
Outer Worlds? Yes. So they finally put out a trailer for Avowed. I don't know if you saw that, which is their like Elder Scrolls.
No, I've not seen this.
It gives me Outer Worlds meets Oblivion vibes.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Considering that entire experience is very tongue-in-cheek with the Outer Worlds.
Yeah, it's more, I guess I would say Outer Worlds in the, like, the way the worlds are made
Okay.
and some of the gameplay. And then Oblivion with how that played. And that, like, I feel like Skyrim, like, even though Oblivion and Skyrim are part of Elder Scrolls, I felt like they were two different. They are two different games, but like
Absolutely.
they had different vibes.
Yeah. Oblivion seemed a lot darker to me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you felt the same way,
Yeah.
but it really had that portal into. I think it was a portal into Oblivion, if I remember right.
Mhm.
I didn't play so much of that game in particular. I played a lot more of Skyrim,
Right.
like probably almost everybody. But I don't know. I am watching the trailer right now, and I see a fungusy bear, which seems interesting. And there's like some plague, I guess, that people are working against. That's a pretty interesting take on it, because you don't normally see a lot of, or you don't see too much of that, I should say, in the kind of fantasy open world games, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Oh,
it looks
and I
cool.
see him opening portals, and that is definitely how Oblivion looked. I totally get the vibe. Yeah, I would probably play this. I don't see why not. And Obsidian has a pretty darn good track record with this kind of game. So I'm almost more interested in it that it's Obsidian versus Bethesda.
Mm-hmm.
So, although I am still very interested in what's the
Starfield.
Starfield. I always want to say Starbound, and I know that's a different game.
I always want to say Garfield.
I always want to go hang out with Garfield and eat lasagna, but that's just me.
Garf head pan body?
Oh, no. I'm dead.
No, that's cool though. I didn't know that was. I think I heard vaguely that existed, and then completely forgot immediately.
Yeah, they like announced it years ago, like everything else on the Xbox, and then finally when they did their showcase, we got to see more of it. So we'll see what happens.
Nice. Did we get a Starfield release date yet?
Yes, September something, I think.
This September?
Next year?
Yes. No, this year. Yeah.
Ooh.
It's been pushed back several times. Like, I think it was originally supposed to be out in November of 2022.
That's going to have bugs.
Yeah. There's a lot
That's an
going on.
Xbox exclusive, right?
It is. Yes, September 6th.
But
that
there's
comes
a
out.
petition you can sign to make it PS5
Ooh.
exclusive.
Well,
That'll do nothing. Yay.
did you see they're coming out now saying that it was originally meant for PlayStation?
I don't
Until-
care, but no, I did not see that.
Yeah. That's been coming out today. It was originally meant to be a PlayStation release, but because Microsoft bought ZeniMax, they have the rights. So it is their game.
They can do what they want.
They can.
They could be
I'm
like
just-
the Wu-Tang Clan and make that one album that Martin Shkreli brought.
And then went to jail.
Yeah.
Wu-Tang is for the people. Release it, Martin Shkreli.
Boy, it's been a long time since we mentioned Martin Shkreli on this podcast, but he used to come up a lot. Our new target will be the Oceangate guy.
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
This is proof, kids. If you're going to buy a video game controller, don't go third party.
Womp womp.
Oh, global tragedies are hilarious.
I mean, they aren't, but when it's caused by stupidity, it's hard. It's hard to be upset about.
Is the issue that, like, I know it was piloted with a controller or whatever.
No, there were 8 million
It was more
issues.
than just a controller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Okay.
a lot more than that, but that probably didn't help.
One of their former employees reported them to OSHA back in like 2018.
Oh God.
Apparently, they said that like what NASA and I forget what university did all of this testing with them, and they're like, yeah, we never did any of that.
Oh.
Yeah, they completely ignored a lot of safety recommendations, including one of their employees who, I don't know if they fired him or he left because they refused to do any of it, but one of their employees made a bunch of recommendations from previous dives, and he never did it. But I think to keep it game related, I don't think the game controller is a big deal, because like,
Nah.
if you like, the way I see it is like, you only have 5 people down there, and let's just say, the people that know how to use the complicated controls had a heart attack and died. You need someone who can feel comfortable, with whatever they have there. And I feel like a game controller is a little more comfortable than like some kind of complicated joystick set and buttons all over the place and stuff.
I don't think anyone felt comfortable in that situation, even when everything was working properly.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
I saw the inside of that thing.
Oh, looks awful.
No one was comfortable.
Yeah. Well, that's fine.
Was...
The U.S. government uses Xbox controllers to pilot drones.
Yeah, I know.
Whatever,
but again, they use Xbox controllers, not Mad Catz bullshit.
And Ukraine has been using drones, like DJI drones, very effectively in the war.
Man, I was hoping they were using DJ Hero drones, using the little scratch board.
They're dropping DJ Hero controllers.
I still have one of those.
I still have mine too. We should get together and compete, Megan.
And compete? Yeah,
and apparently
let's do
go
it.
to war.
Fingers on the record.
Over sick beats.
That's right. All right, that was the topical portion of our podcast. Now we can go back to not talking about terrible tragedies and making fun of them.
So about terrible tragedies, no, I don't have any more terrible tragedy news to share.
Thank goodness.
I do have to ask, because I am heavily invested in Tears of the Kingdom. I think all of you has a Switch.
Yes.
When do you plan to play Tears of the Kingdom?
Well, I still need to play
Breath of the Wild.
Yes, I still need to play Breath of the Wild.
I got through about half, I think, of Breath of the Wild, and I actually brought it with me to play while on vacation, mostly for the drive, but we stopped so frequently, and like, we're trying to keep each other going for that long drive that we never pulled out the Switch then. We did play a little bit of Mario Kart, now that I think about it, but only a couple races. So once I beat Breath of the Wild, I'd play Tears of the Kingdom. I don't know about you guys, but I also really struggle to see a Switch game being worth like 65 or 70 or whatever dollars it was.
It is 8,000% worth the money.
Okay, and this game might be, but I feel like a lot of the games, I'm like, I don't know, for like a Switch game, I struggle with it.
I know you're Johnny Frugalington, but Tears of the Kingdom is definitely worth the $70 price of admission. The way I look at it is there's so many games out there now that are incomplete when you purchase them, and they're $60 or $70, or you only get a couple hours of story and then it's all online or whatever. I have almost 100 hours into this game, and I think one of the good other gaming business calculations to do alongside FPM is cost per hour of enjoyment. So if I have put over 100 hours for $70, I'm paying less than like $1 an hour for my enjoyment, which is pretty freaking good.
Boy, Stardew Valley is the greatest value of a game I've ever gotten, then.
Yep.
$15 for
Little
800 plus hours of enjoyment.
Oh yeah. No, Stardew is like the value play of all time. Minecraft, I would say, is another one that's up there. But yeah, I hear you, Fleming, with a lot of those games, and especially I think it's easy to put a perception like that on a Switch game, but like it doesn't even have like the issues that like Pokemon has with like a big open world. Because I don't know if you guys played Scarlet Violet. I might have been the only one to really get in there. Megan, did you play that one?
Not all the way through, but I have played it. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, there's pretty horrendous lag issues in that game.
Yeah.
I think for me, I don't have 100 hours right now to put into it, so the price has already started coming down a little bit. You can find it for like 64, 62 kind of thing, like a little bit of a discount. And I know Switch games don't come down much, but they do come down a little bit. I'd rather just like buy it when I know I can play it holistically, rather than do what I did to Breath of the Wild and play 40% and then just not come back to it for 2 years.
You're about to have a baby. You are never going to have time to holistically play anything ever again for the next 20 plus years.
I've heard it said two ways, where you're going to have a lot of time because you're just going to be by yourself with child, and child is not going to do much other than cry and be with you. So
then cry, poop, and sleep.
Yep.
Sounds like Alfie.
Well,
I do want to get it, but it was not the first thing on my to-do list to purchase when I'm not done Breath of the Wild.
That's fair.
I would still encourage you to elevate it. I mean, I would almost say forget Breath of the Wild and just play Tears of the Kingdom. I know you already have Breath of the Wild.
Would you tell him to get that instead of the Marvel game that I can't remember the name of right now? Midnight Suns.
Ooh.
Probably.
All
just
right.
Because I feel like it's easier to pick up and put down.
Which will be handy when you have a child.
Yeah, exactly.
Who wants to be picked up and put down?
Well, you've heard me say it multiple times before, where like my ideal game is one you can turn on, do stuff, and then like turn off whenever you need to. And there are stretches of the game where you are not going to want to do that, but you can save wherever the hell you want and put it down. Like, it's easy to do that. Midnight Suns, you might have a battle that takes like, I don't know, 20 minutes, or you might get engaged in like story. It's also fairly easy to pick up and put down, in my opinion, but it's a little bit more long form for Midnight Suns. And I almost loathe saying that I would rather recommend Zelda, because Midnight Suns has been having a harder time selling. And I love that game, and I really want them to make more. So play and buy Midnight Suns. But Zelda is just so good. I mean, it's gonna run away with like the best game of the year.
I do not really watch this content creator anymore, but the other day in my YouTube suggestions, a video of Day 9 saying why Marvel Midnight Suns is one of the best games he's ever played did pop up in my YouTube suggestions.
I might watch that just to see what he has to say, because I'm interested. And it's really good.
It's fucking good, you guys. God, play it.
Yeah, I know. I played a little bit more of that within the last couple weeks because they released the Storm DLC. So I played the first mission with Storm, and they do a good job of like making all the characters have different ways that they work. Like Storm is like, if you hold cards for an extra turn, they do extra stuff. So it's, you have to balance everything in that game, and it's very nicely balanced and has a cool progression to it. And it's a fun occult spin on a lot of like favorite superhero characters, except for Morpheus. Morpheus is also in it, but I don't count him. That's a joke for the internet.
Okay.
Sorry.
Please clap. No, don't. But yeah, I love that game. That game actually came out at the tail end of last year, so it wouldn't even be competing with this year. But prior to the release of Zelda, that probably would have been my favorite game that I've played this year. But Zelda is amazing. Like, the best part about it is the ability to construct things yourself, and it gives you so much. Like, I liken it to Half-Life 2, because Half-Life 2 was a game changer in the way that there were physics puzzles all over the place. and you had to engage that problem-solving part of your brain and apply a little bit of ingenuity to the way that you use the things around you. And Zelda is like that, but with even more freedom, because a lot of the parts that you use, you can just pull out and just be like, okay, I'm going to build a minecart here and I'm going to slap rockets to it. And I'm going to see how far I can fly off this mountain to try to get to the next one. Or, I'm going to line up these things and then shoot a lightning arrow at it to electrify a circuit and get all the guys at once and, try and keep my distance. Or I'm just going to build a hovercraft to get across this lake. Like all these different things. It rewards you for experimenting with a lot of those things. And that tickles my happy brain. It really sets off that part of me that is really interested in those different engineering kind of aspects, and lets me dabble in them. So yeah, it's another Tom emphatically recommends game if you haven't already figured it out.
Never.
So yeah, play Tears of the Kingdom.
I love to see the creations that people make on the internet. Like someone made a giant hydraulic press.
Ooh.
That they could like steer and everything. It was pretty incredible, but like one of the I don't know what it was, but like one of the giant monsters that roam the open world, it ended up destroying it, but it had a good run.
Yeah.
Or like you see them make like a giant Gundam.
Mm-hmm. Someone made Metal Gear Ray. I saw
really?
that. Yeah.
That's cool.
Like people have made like these bipedal things where there'll be like two legs and they'll have other stuff on top of it. Like there's cannon attachments you can put on stuff, so it'll just shoot explosive cannonballs at things, flamethrowers, ice balls, lightning zappers. It's awesome.
And then so many dicks.
Yeah, I haven't made a dick machine because it's not necessary.
Are you even playing Zelda?
No, I'm not. I'm playing Link. But no, it's
it's really cool to see what people do.
Oh yeah, like one of the things I like the most, somebody made like a spinning leg thing.
Okay.
So like it spins on its own and there's two legs and it just moves forward with this like spinning. It just spins and there's two legs and it just moves on its own. It's crazy.
I love that you can just get pieces from like a giant like capsule machine.
Yes.
Essentially, Christy has it. She's been playing it, so I'll watch her play it every once in a while. And
good.
Like, yeah, it's super cool.
Yeah, like okay, so that part was a little bit frustrating to me for a while because I could not for the life of me find one that had the steering wheel.
Oh, okay.
So I wanted to drive things for forever and could not.
You couldn't do it.
We got like 50 hours into the game before I found the first steering wheel, like capsule. And now I find them everywhere, and I have like 70 of them.
You don't need them now.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it's awesome. And I mean, we had one mission where there's a town you have to rebuild. You have to go around gathering logs.
Okay.
And I was trying to figure out the best way to do it, and they're scattered all over the place, like over a wide area. Mm-hmm. So ultimately, what I did was I built like a 4-wheeler out of logs, and I put a steering wheel on it. So every time I would find a log, I would just add it to like the base of this machine, and then when I turned it in, I just turned my car into the guy, basically.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was great. I called it Bertha. We ran over a bunch of dudes. It's just full of funny moments like that too.
Yeah.
So it's just I didn't really see what more they could have done with a Zelda game after Breath of the Wild, and it's really impressive what they were able to do with Tears of the Kingdom. So
yeah.
Nintendo surprises me so much. And going back to that whole thing about the Switch hardware and the the Nintendo Direct, they have the worst hardware on the market. That's all there really is to it. But they make everything fun as hell.
Mm-hmm.
And they just push good releases. Like,
right.
If there was a gaming company I'd want to work at,
Nintendo.
It would be Nintendo, for sure.
It's all about fun.
Absolutely. And not just fun per minute.
I think Nintendo does a good job with their specific games, but if it's a game developed by somebody else, and especially if it's a port, it is usually pretty bad. Like, I think of like Civilization. That is just run so poorly on that like it never should have been released.
Yes, it's not meant to be on that damn system. Yeah, that's
but I'm saying like I just think that Nintendo's like, oh yeah, we want money, port it, but like they make themselves look bad when they port in games like that. Sure. Just my personal opinion when it comes to certain games like that are not made by Nintendo.
They're great for indie developers, though. I feel like you see a lot of really cool indie titles come out on the Nintendo.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of like little goofy things too, and they're all just quirky and fun. Like I mean, Splatoon kind of has that feel too, right? That's a Nintendo game, but
right.
I forget what the name of the game is, but it was played on Game Grumps, and I watched the hell out of it. And it was just a game where like you had a plane and you could boost off a ramp, and your goal was to go just far enough across this finish line and crash. And you would get points depending on if you crash earlier, how many flips and spins and stuff you did. And then you could, like, in between, you just upgrade your speed and agility and how much money you make off of things. It's a freaking delight to watch. And it's just shooting a plane off and doing loop-de-loops and crashing, getting more money and doing it again.
Because why not?
Yeah, it's just the spirit of fun, I feel, I think I said this in like the very first episode of this podcast, is like we were feeling the spirit of fun drain out in a lot of areas. Mm-hmm. And I think it's filling back up in a lot of places, and nowhere more than Nintendo. Like there's color, there's brightness, and there's just fun. And I love that.
In the very first episode of this podcast, I also talked about Mario RPG and how they need to bring back Geno, and lo and behold, baby,
we did it!
Good job, us. It took 3 years, but we did it.
We've been whispering to our collective dads at Nintendo. They've been listening.
We used to talk about how we would predict something, and then in the future it would come out, and that's another prediction we can come back to and say we called it.
We did it.
Yep. Next one up, apparently Chrono Trigger. And Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy Tactics are getting...
Dude, okay. I will have to send you this video, Tom. I saw someone is making a mod of Final Fantasy VI in the style of Final Fantasy Tactics, and it looked so good, and I can't wait for that to be real.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
I hope they finish that.
Before I heard about the remake of Mario RPG as well, I just downloaded a ROM hack of Super Mario RPG called Super Mario Armageddon, and I'm very much looking forward to playing that. I will probably record that because it looks dope as hell.
What's the spin on that?
It's basically Super Mario RPG hard mode, but they add stuff to the story and things like that. So
interesting. You know how much I love hard mode.
Yep, I know it's your favorite.
Speaking of, I was going to add one more thing to the Tears of the Kingdom discussion.
Yes.
That game is so much like a Soulsborne game.
That's what I've heard.
And you would not want to play those. You've mentioned this before, how you're like, it's Nintendo Dark Souls.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And yet, if you were to play Dark Souls, you'd be like, this game's bullshit. Why am I playing this?
Yeah, because I feel like there's a way to win when I play it in Zelda, I guess. Like, I feel like there's a part in my brain that says, no, this is made for children. I can make it work. And then I do. But I die a lot in the process sometimes.
Just going to build a bridge.
Hey, sometimes that's what you got to do. Sometimes there's a wide gap and I try to fly across it and it doesn't work. And I say, okay, fuck it. And I take out a bunch of the flying machines, staple them to each other, and just make a bridge. That's what you do. So, cool. No, I forgot if I mentioned that before or not, but yeah, I don't know, it satisfies so many pleasure centers of the brain. So anyway, I feel like we are at the wrap-up point here. Unless anyone has anything else they would like to say about Nintendo, Dark Souls, other gaming companies, my dad, etc.
I do have one short thing to say. They recently put out a teaser for the new Metal Gear Solid TV series.
TV series? I didn't know that
sorry?
was a thing.
It was a clip of Sweet Tooth as played by AEW. Is that the clown's name?
Oh, Twisted Metal.
Twisted. I'm sorry.
Oh.
What did I say?
You
That
said
makes
Metal Gear Solid.
Sorry, brain busted. Twisted Metal.
I did see that.
It was Sweet Tooth, as played by AEW wrestler Samoa Joe, Fleming's frozen again,
Hey.
voiced by Will Arnett,
Hey,
singing the Thong Song. And
Yep.
boy,
What?
does that look very silly and yet pique my interest.
That
I froze.
sounds hilarious.
I know Tom's busy capturing.
I have to
doing
save
the
it. It's,
screen
it's
cap.
a really crazy face. So yeah, no, I guess I really liked the story of like Twisted Metal 2 and Twisted Metal 3. So I would be very interested in watching a Twisted Metal TV show. I would actually like another Twisted Metal game, but
Right.
hey, that's just me.
Maybe one day.
We're
Put it out
manifest
there.
destiny. We're speaking it into existence right now.
We have 8 Mario Karts. Could we not get another Twisted Metal?
And
Come
we're
on.
getting another Mario Kart 8 update, so
God damn it. What I thought you were gonna say, Pinto, and you said Metal Gear Solid. They showed footage of that on the Nintendo Direct.
they did.
And it was like a collection and not touched at all.
Oh, really?
Nope.
Didn't even include Twin Snakes. It was like the original Meltman face Metal Gear Solid. I was
boy.
like, Twin Snakes was on GameCube.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, what is it? Volume 1. It's like Metal Gear Volume 1. It's the first PlayStation game. I think the NES game.
Yeah.
I feel asleep.
Sons of
Outer
Liberty, I
Haven.
think.
Yeah. It's 1,
Yeah.
2, and 3. And then the NES or SNES
Yeah.
games.
Yeah.
I think there's 2 of those, which
There are, yeah.
no one so here's the thing. This collection already existed. I think it was a PlayStation situation.
It was, yeah.
Because I remember playing those early games in that collection edition. And they're not great.
Yeah.
And I actually bought like a PS2 collection that they were selling as a box set that includes 2, 3, and the PlayStation 1 version in like a DVD case for some reason. And it's basically the same thing. They're just like, hey, we're gonna bring it to Switch and do nothing with it because we're Konami.
I am looking forward to the Snake Eater remake, Metal Gear 3.
I didn't know they were doing that. I
Yeah.
would play that.
They announced it at the Sony showcase, I think. But like, why not just start from Metal Gear? Like, why not
Yeah, why not start with the first
start
one?
there?
Yeah.
So,
Because Konami is bereft of good ideas.
true.
But yeah, if all they're doing is a makeover to that game, it'll be great.
Mhm.
Honestly, if you spruce up the combat a little bit, that'll be awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that game was the best one, so
Yes, I agree. Yeah, they put out a teaser for it. So at first I'm like, what is this? And then you realize what it is. So
and then you realize they called it Metal Gear 3 Snake Eater Survive. You go, why? And then it's all part of a pachinko machine. Anyway, this episode too has been part of a pachinko machine, so enjoy your winnings. Hopefully you've hit the bonus many times. Does anyone have anything else before I close it out?
I'm good.
All right. So if you like, give us a like on Facebook. Check us out on social media. We are on many different platforms, all of which you can find on joypadpod.com. Send us an email at joypadpod@gmail.com. Suggest that we could talk about. Tell us why Nintendo is awesome or why you might disagree with us, and then we can tell you that you're wrong.
Mhm.
Or maybe Fleming agrees with you. I don't know. Send us feedback on how I Photoshop Fleming's face into backgrounds. Do whatever you like. Just reach out. We're happy to engage with you, and we're glad that you're listening to us. Any last words?
Penis.
Well, there it is.
Oh boy.
No, I'm just gonna say I'm just really happy this week. Really glad that we're seeing kind of an uptick in game development this year, and a lot of quality games coming out. So I hope that momentum keeps up, Nintendo or otherwise. Looking forward to playing Final Fantasy 16. So it's a great year for games. It's a great year to stay joyful. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.